Hey guys, welcome to Realistic Crypto. I'm Mark, and in this video I'm going to take you through another passive income update with the 3Commas DCA bots. I'm also going to do a quick review of the market, where I think it's going based on some technical analysis, and then towards the end I'm also going to go through a couple of DCA bot configs. So one of these was requested on the Medium article, but I'm also going to share one of my short bots as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, again, relatively good week. We've had majority green days. We did have a red day 2 days ago. It were only a small red day. You'll see that when we look at the 3Commas numbers. We have just had a bit of a pullback in the market. We can take a look at that in a minute. But as it stands at the minute, so far, looking pretty good for this month. There's still another 4 or 5 days left in the month, so it'll be interesting to see what these numbers are. Just very quickly, take a quick look at the bots like we usually do. So 7 days, we're still looking pretty good across the majority of those. We do have pre, which we are down $9 on the week. The reason for that, we timed out one of the trades that was already in a loss. So we took that and moved on, and since then we've started to build back the loss that we took. Statistics, take a look at those. So projections, $355 by the end of this month, which is not too bad. Now that is not the whole story, so it'll be interesting to see if we can keep that. But if we just jump into active deals, there has just been quite a pullback in the market. So most of these bots are still have taken profit. A lot of the short bots are idle right now because the RSI will be oversold and not overbought, and that's where we want to short. So yeah, now clearly let's call out Edible, let's call out F3 long on KuCoin. So both of those, I think when we did the last video 3 days ago, these were around the same amount. In the last kind of 24 hours, we'd reduced these down to around $225 as a loss between the pair of them. But given the market pullback that we've just had, we've seen this pull back a little bit. So that's it for the passive income update. Short and sweet this time around. I think taking a look at where we are, and specifically on the ETH chart right now. So on the hourly, there was this head and shoulders type pattern that broke out, and then we also saw some resistance on this trend line here. You can see price came up, touched it, got rejected, came up, touched it, got rejected. Now it broke through, and at this point we'd seen some previous resistance around this price, and we see some more back here, and we see some more back here. So this is quite a key level. But then interestingly, if we zoom out a little bit, this level down here is also what I'm seeing as a key level. If we just jump up time frame, zoom in, so as you can see, lots of support around here back in July. So we'd seen the price in this head and shoulders come down and touch that support level. I'm starting to think that we're going to see a double bottom here, with this being the bottom. So let me just remove all of them for a minute. I think what we're going to see is this kind of double bottom pattern, and then as we move back up, once if we break this line here, then there's more upside. I am really keeping my eye on these levels here, and if we start to get some candle closes below that previous support, then I'll certainly be looking at opportunities to exit those deals that are in the red. I think given the merge with Ethereum right now, I think that's kind of leading the market, so I think that's kind of holding the market up. So if Ethereum does well, I think we'll see the other cryptos perform relatively well as well. So those are my thoughts, not financial advice, just my thoughts and kind of where I'm thinking of either, you know, taking a loss on some of those trades, or potentially leaving them to run when if the price heads back up this way. Very quickly, we'll just take a look at the graphs on 3Commas. Clearly these are the ones that people might be more familiar with. If we just take a look at the last 30 days, we're at 361. If I look at profit by day, that's the day I mentioned a little earlier when we took a loss, not a big loss, just a little one in there. Maybe we've got a bigger loss yet to come. And again, best pairs, Flux, Bull still, even though we've been in that trade now 9 days. Still up there on the most profitable list. So that's a passive income update from the DCA bot. So now what we'll do is we'll take a quick look at one of the requested back tests. Now, I must say that this took a little bit of time, and it was slightly difficult trying to find a good back test on Link BTC that actually performed somewhere near what the buy and hold return would have been. Now, obviously, we've had a pullback in the market, but this was around 0.23% per day in this period when I finally settled on choosing this as the settings. Now, with these settings, I used both a timeout and a stop loss. There was a couple of occasions where you know, the pullback or the losses on this particular pair were significant enough to not be profitable, and I found that the way to kind of counteract that was to apply not only a stop loss but also the usual timeout. Now, it seems to not use many base orders. There's not a lot of deviation in terms of, you know, from when a long opens to it closing. You know, the max deviation or the max percentage change in this period is only 7.5%, and we've through these settings covered around 6.6% of that. So we're almost covering the full deviation through this period. I probably wouldn't use these settings myself. I think there's other pairs that move better and give better back testing results, and yeah, I'm not sure that I'd choose these, although 0.25% per day is still pretty good. There are other opportunities out there, and I think, you know, one of the other things to note is that this has been profitable in previous periods. So if I hit the bar replay and click this button here, this will show that again 0.14%. The buy and hold return in that previous period was pretty good. So I mean, if you didn't want to take your put your Bitcoin on the table and take it straight off, then 0.72% is pretty good. And again, you can see that we hit the stop loss there. And if I just really quickly take that off, you'll see there's not much difference in that period. I think it was the prior period which caused the problems. And then if we turn the timeout off, yeah, we see better results in that period. However, worse results in this one. So it's a bit of a trade-off. This was definitely a challenging back test. Definitely a challenging back test. But like I say, probably not settings I'd use. I'd look for an alternative. So now what I'll do very quickly is I will share one of my own. Now these are shorts, so if you've got some flux lying around and you want to either make some USDT from that flux, or you want to sell flux and then buy it back at a lower price, you can compound the amount of flux that you've got, because you can use that same amount of money to buy more flux at a lower price. So that's where I typically focus my attentions, is building these bags. And flux I'm pretty bullish on long term. So what we've got is we have above 76. Drop that to 33. Yeah, so here we go. So this is one of the bots that I've got running. In terms of time frame, I've got this running on the 3 minute. It made a profit of 0.57% per day, or 26.6% in the previous period, which was the 11th of July through to the 26th of August. So we're talking 6 weeks, around 6 weeks. Now if we go back to the previous period and we see what it was like then, see, again 0.57% a day and 27.84%. Lots of open trades, lots of movement. Now we'll just try on that previous period as well. Take a quick look, and again, pretty good, 0.9% per day. So flux has almost doubled in price in the last couple of weeks. I remember somewhere I got some a pretty good entry on Flux down at 40 cents. So you know it's moved, and that was probably in the last. Let's have a quick look. You know, so since the 13th of July, it's increased in price by 205%. So clearly from a buy and hold perspective, that's pretty good. But equally, you know, for a bot to trade that well in an uptrend, you know, is yeah, it's done well, and it, you know, it continues to do well. I've not had to touch it. I've left it, and it's done exactly what I've needed it to do. Now, what I would say is, again, this is not financial advice. This is these are the settings that I'm using. If you do want to try these settings, you do so at your own risk. And that's it for this video. We're going to put one of these out every couple of days. I mentioned in the previous video that we've got a miner in to review, so that's behind me, and I'm planning to get that content together over this weekend, so that should be out in the next few days. If there's a pair that you want back tested and the results on one of these videos, then by all means leave a comment in the comments box below. And then finally, if you do like the content, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. We're going to continue to make lots and lots of content around DCA bots. So that's it for this time. Thank you very much, and goodbye.